Yeah, you know, the manufacturer with the rings, Audi, Vorsprung der Technik and all that. Never understood what it means, something about technology and advancement, but anyway, they make very good cars. So, if you've ever fancied buying a quality German car, why not look at one of these, an Audi A6 Avant. This is a 2.8 model, and when you consider that this car cost over £30,000 when it was new, but now with 30,000 miles on the clock, it could be yours for £14,000. And inside you get Audi's legendary build quality, plus clever things like damped cup holders. There's two of those in the rear, and a damped coat hook to hang your jacket on when you're herring down the motorway. There's acres of space for the passengers, a good boot, and nobody builds interiors as well as Audi. This 2.8 A6 produces 193 brake horsepower. It feels very smooth and responsive. It's got a 5-speed gearbox on it, which is slick and smooth as well. You could have the automatic option, which gives you a Tiptronic gearbox, where you can stick it in drive and just trundle along as you would do in any automatic, or you have the option to change by flicking a lever back and forward. Well worth looking out for the autos, and worth looking out for the Quattro 4-wheel drive versions of these cars too. I've always thought that the A6 is a lovely looking car, great to look at on the road, but for me the lines and the style of these Avant estate models are better than the saloons. There's just something about these cars. Now the current A6 is about halfway through its life cycle. There'll be an all new A6 in around 3 years' time from now, and that means that prices are slipping and there are bargains aplenty to be found, like this car. So how cheap are A6s getting now? Well, an early P-Reg car could be yours for as little as £9,500. Main Audi dealers will have probably the nicest cars and also the newest cars. The older A6s are probably best found at a specialist. Great choice of engines to choose from, starting off with the 1.8 turbo producing 150 brake horsepower. There's a 2.4 V6, this 2.8 V6, there's also a 2.7 bi-turbo, which means twin turbo, and then the storming V8, the 4.2 and the S6. When Audi launched these latest generation A6s back in 1997, they had very, very high hopes for the car. Here was something they wanted to take on head-to-head with the BMW 5 Series, long seen as the benchmark executive saloon and estate. In truth, it never quite hit the mark. Don't get me wrong, this is not a bad car by any means, but you'd notice the difference between, say, the A6 and the 5 Series blasting down your favourite country lane. This is not quite as sharp or as agile. It's more ideal as a relaxed motorway cruiser.
Audi probably build a car better than any other manufacturer in the world, and the A6 is testament to that. A quality finish that doesn't wear over the years means that used A6s are great value. The Avant may not be as big as rivals from Mercedes and BMW, but do you really need that extra space?